What up, Barb Gang? It's your boy JKG Brandon, back with some Diablo content for you guys. Before I get into this one, I want to say thank you for all the love on the channel that you guys have been giving recently. I really do appreciate everything. You guys are awesome. We got some more Diablo videos. We're going to have some Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play series in the future, as well as some first impressions on some other games that are out. And if you guys want to see a particular game, you know, taking a look at, you want me to play something specific and give my first impressions, the way I'm going to do first impressions is going to be a two-parter. We're going to do initial reactions, and then we're going to play it casually for about a week, and then come back and have a little bit more of a lived-in first impression as well. So just a kind of heads up on what you're going to see coming up on the channel in the weeks going forward. With that being said, if you like what we do around here, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year, aka the end of December, so we can do something fun on the account, whether it is investing that into Diablo Immortal, whether it's investing it into another game specifically to play on, you know, on the channel. We'll see. We'll figure that out when the time comes. But until then, let's get right into it. So this one, recently in my last video, I went ahead and started the process to switch over to a full 6-piece Vengeance family set. And if you don't know what the Vengeance family set is, we'll come in here. I do have a current 3-piece, so we're gonna have it basically scales. We have a 2% chance to increase all of our damage by 100% for 1 second. As that stacks, I have three pieces currently, and that basically goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So full 6-piece will give a 12% chance to proc. The cooldown will go all the way down to 13 seconds. At the current 3-piece that we have, I have a 6% chance to proc it, as well as a 27-second cooldown on Vengeance here for us with that as well. I decided, hey, let's go ahead and test it with a full 6-piece Grace of the Flagellant, because this one right here, when you have the full 6-piece, every time you deal damage, whether it's with your primary attack, which will proc Vengeance, or just any other skill, you're going to have a 4% chance to unleash a lightning strike that's going to do a base of 31,000. So if we get 100% damage boost from Vengeance before we get the Grace proc, that could potentially give us a 62,000 base proc, which if you haven't seen a 6-piece Grace set proc, I proc it currently with this particular 6-piece set. It'll hit for anywhere between 105,000 damage on a crit, all the way up to, I've seen 140 something K. So it'll go really crazy. So like if we actually can proc the Vengeance and then immediately 1 second after proc a Grace, we have capability of doing somewhere between, you know, 250, 300k damage. That would be absolutely insane to see. I have no idea if we're gonna get that or not, but it's definitely something that we're gonna try to see over the coming weeks. This is probably gonna be how I do my bounties and stuff like that. You can see right here, I recorded 2 runs. One run is going to be done with Lacerate with Rending Bite, and the second run is going to be done with Frenzy and Lunatic Twin. Lacerate with Rending Bite hits a little bit harder on base damage, and then you get the damage over time with the bleed. Frenzy with Lunatic Twin, it does give us a little bit more of an increase on our base damage output. Frenzy, I do like Frenzy because the ultimate I do believe is better. However, also we get that movement and attack speed with Frenzy. Just in general, it's a faster animation, so we're getting 2, 3, 4 hits for every 1 or 2 of Lacerate. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Lacerate is like the big haymaker, and Frenzy is like that real quick jab, right? So if you think about it in fighting terms, so we're kind of looking at that. You can see you know, we're doing a pretty decent job. You know, it feels faster with both Grace and the Vengeance than what it did prior to moving into the full 6-piece Grace set. I did run some rapids yesterday with just the 3-piece Vengeance, so it is a little bit, it feels faster. It may only be like 1 second in a total run, might be, you know, 10 seconds in a total run, but it does feel a little bit faster. I'm gonna actually speed this up until we get to the dam, because once we get to the dam right here, I'll back it up. When we get to the dam, this is pretty interesting because I like to wait until we have everybody here. Go ahead and proc everything. You can see 127k, a bunch of 100k procs there, and we basically one-shot the entire raft worth of enemies right there. So it definitely cuts down on that time for sure. Where I would love to see this proc the most is actually at the bosses, because then we can actually get some really big numbers and help out there. At this point we just die, and then we're gonna pick it right back up as we come over the waterfall, run in here, and we'll hit the boss. And you can kind of see here we're getting some decent, you know, 94,000 on one of those hits, 50s, you know, mid 50s. We're getting some good crits out of this because of Wrath of the Berserker. We get that really good crit chance. So pretty much once we proc Wrath of the Berserker, it's not quite a guaranteed crit, but it's a really high chance. Lacerate, you can see it hits hard. The base damage on it is really good. However, it is very slow. So you definitely want to run like your sprint along with Lacerate just to try to speed up the attack animations. If nothing else, you might lose out on, you know, putting another, you know, another damage skill like say Cleave in that position. Again, caveat, this is not a fully optimized, you know, loadout by any stretch of the imagination. This just happens to be the skills that I was running. The only difference I wanted to see is, you know, between Lacerate and Frenzy. I do change out the main hand weapon when I do change the skills, but you can kind of see, especially on that raft, we're getting some really big procs between Grace of the 6-piece Grace set, the 3-piece Vengeance family set, and then I do also have Blessing of the Worthy, which can do a really big AoE as well. So that's also another capability with this Vengeance 3-piece set that could actually do some really good damage. And I do apologize if it comes through. I don't know if it's going to come through or not. We're having a storm right now, and I'm having a lot of rain and hail and stuff hit the window, so apologize if that's coming through. But here we are, loaded in with Frenzy, and let's go ahead and run in here like I always do. Come to the end, we get those pretty good procs. You can see about 125k there on that set of AoE. That was a nice big proc there. Frenzy is a lot easier to just kind of spam that base attack. So, you know, that is one kind of really good thing because the animation is so quick compared to Lacerate, where you kind of wind up and then hit. You know, Frenzy, you're just step and hit, step and hit, step and hit. It's a lot quicker as far as that goes. Again, we'll just kind of, we'll die and we'll pick it right back up here at the raft when we revive in. And again, same thing happens with this one. We go ahead and proc Wrath of the Berserker, and we basically one shot the entirety of the raft. It's really good. Frenzy, it didn't do as much damage after that, but you can kind of see we're still able to stick and move, and we're able to clear the raft pretty easily. No big deal. That last hit we got to, I believe that was a Blessing of the Worthy proc for, you know, 50k. So that's pretty fun. We're gonna go ahead and pick it right back up again at the end of the bridge here. So we're gonna hit the boss, and you know, we're just gonna cruise around. You can see we're getting some good procs, 50k. You know, a lot of mid 20s, some 40s. I'm seeing close to, you know, 37, a lot of 37s. When we do get our ultimate here momentarily, you're gonna see it just spams 37,000. So that's a pretty good indicator of just kind of what the base damage is that we're critting for with the Frenzy, with my current, you know, stats and everything that I have on my account at the moment. But you know, you can see we're doing a pretty good job here. So, you know, 38k, a lot of 20s thrown in there. And like I said, we're gonna get the ultimate here momentarily, and we're gonna start seeing a whole lot of 37s pop up. And we got 22, 24. You can see we're even getting some, you know, 44 right there. And then there was an 83 in there. That was a pretty nice one. I believe that 83 may have actually been our Vengeance proc, just because we're seeing a lot of 37, 37, 37, 37, and then an 83 in there, you know, and then a bunch of 37s right after that. I believe that was the Vengeance proc right there, giving us that 100% damage boost. So, as far as, you know, does Grace stack with Vengeance, it's going to be really hard to catch on camera and to see that, just because it's a really tight window and there is a lot of RNG, because, you know, it's a 4% chance to proc the Grace, and currently as it stands I have a 12% chance to proc the Vengeance. So getting those to line up, you know, it's going to be like catching lightning in a bottle twice in one location, right? So it's going to be very cool to kind of just play around with this. I'm going to do my bounties and all my dailies and stuff with this setup for the next week or two. And I'm really excited to kind of, you know, test this out and just kind of visually, you know, keep track of it. Outside of that, I do believe Frenzy is going to be the better base attack for the Vengeance family set specifically. There's always going to be that use case scenario for which one do you want to use in which situation. However, if you are going to be running the family sets as a barb, I do believe Frenzy is going to be your better option, just because you are going to be able to spam that base attack a whole lot more in the same amount of time period. So every 10 seconds you're going to be able to do roughly double, if not triple, the amount of base attacks that you would with Lacerate in that same amount of time. So you're going to have that many more chances to build up that, you know, that chance to proc it. So I do believe for this particular use case, Frenzy is going to be the better option. That being said, guys, if you've been running Grace with the Vengeance or any of the other actual family sets, let me know in the comments below. If you're a barb and you're running those, if you're a different class, let me know as well. I definitely love picking brains of other classes as well. If you run a similar or, you know, completely different setup, let me know. If you disagree with me thinking that Frenzy is the better of the two to work specifically with Vengeance, definitely let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from everybody on all this. And as always, guys, we are trying to hit that, you know, 1,000 sub goal by the end of the year. So if you do like what we do around here, smash that like button, hit that subscription button, and smash the notification bell so you know when I upload and you don't miss a thing. That being said, I'm JKG Brandon. Y'all have been amazing. Until I see you in the next one. Peace.